We're well into 2025, and I know that a lot of you have decided to make this year the year that you start your own business. I know a lot of you are struggling for ideas, thinking of businesses that you could start to make a lot of money and gain control over your life. After all, there's really nothing better than being your own boss, having the privilege of setting your own schedule, even if you're not making much more than you were when you had a job. That's where I was about 15 years ago, and what I learned about starting companies literally transformed the course of my life. More on that in a bit. But when it comes to starting a business, a lot of people, maybe most, look for ideas that are world changers or drive some major innovation. People overthink the whole business idea thing, think that they have to have this grand vision that will really shake up an industry. Don't overcomplicate it. Well, it's definitely possible to build a business like this and achieve unicorn status, a $1 billion valuation. Most people will never reach this status and spend a lot of their time on projects that ultimately go nowhere. Worse, they often lose a lot of money in the process, building prototypes if they get that far, hiring patent lawyers, designers, coders, and stuff like that. Remember that for every Google or Shopify, there are hundreds of other businesses that didn't make it. By all means, shoot for the moon if you're really set on going that route. Don't let me dissuade you. But if you're dreaming up an idea just to get a successful business started, you may want to aim lower to earth. One of the key areas that people overlook when starting a business is their own surroundings, specifically their own life experiences. Talking about hobbies, challenges, skills, and other things that you do on a daily basis. 15 years ago, I was faced with the problem that I couldn't find any more stocks for a specific stock market strategy that I was using. I thought I would have to abandon the strategy, but a friend suggested that I start a website that collects these across the web and then makes them available for a yearly fee. This fit both my hobbies, something I knew very well, and a key problem that a lot of people faced in the market. The result was immediate adoption and growth. Within 12 months, I'd quit my job and was raking in far more money than I ever had before. So, a lot of the time, the answer to what business you should start is sitting right in front of you. First, problems. Life is full of them. And while this can be frustrating for a lot of people, an entrepreneur looks at things differently. Rather than complaining, an entrepreneur will look at a problem and then start thinking up creative solutions to that problem, and then take the process a step further and try to think about how a business might offer one of these creative solutions to customers. At the very heart of it, entrepreneurs are problem solvers. We see a problem and then we offer a solution for that problem that a lot of people may find valuable and pay us a bit of money for. This is really why companies exist, right? They're all set up to solve some problem that we face, and there is no shortage of problems. The question just comes down to how painful the problem is for people and whether you can come up with a simple solution to solve it. So, when thinking of business ideas that are a little closer to home, more down to earth, ask yourself what problems you can experience on a daily basis or a weekly basis. Then think of ways to solve the problem. It can be a small problem that a lot of people find annoying, or a big problem that fewer people have, but you think you can solve. Either is fine. Remember that while people are unique, there's a lot of similarity between what you do on a daily basis and what a lot of others do. The chances are good that if you think there's an annoying problem in your life, a lot of others have that same problem. If the problem is painful enough to want to get rid of and you find a simple solution that you could offer others, they may take you up on it and you may have a business. Hobbies are similar. I don't know anybody who has a hobby that other people are not also doing. If you can offer some unique angle to engage in your hobby, then I bet some people also engaged in that area of interest will find your unique angle interesting and pay you a bit of money to be a part of it. This is exactly what I did when I started my first membership business, Net Hunter, 15 years ago. It's also exactly what Ernesto Ortiz did when he started his SEO agency. He knew SEO well, it was actually what he was employed to do, but he saw major problems in the space because he was a customer of other SEO agencies. He saw things that they were doing that just didn't make sense, and the fact that many of these agencies disappointed. That was the problem. So he put together his own agency that addressed these problems, partly by applying the scientific method, and his agency has grown tremendously over the past few years. Neither me nor Ernesto started unicorns. We didn't aim for world shaking products that would rewrite history. We simply found a solid solution to a problem that we knew well and that many others likely faced. And that's key. So, what are you good at? What can you teach others? Is there a problem close to home that you could offer a solution for? That's what you should be thinking about in 2025 if you're still struggling to find a business idea. You don't have to rewrite history. And to see how powerful this approach is, I recommend that you watch my interview with Ernesto here. If you're thinking of getting into media or launching your own podcast, then I also highly recommend that you check out my interview with Omar Zenhom at $100 MBA. And if you ever navigate off of YouTube, we have a lot of case studies at membersherpa.com. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email or leave me a comment on this video, and I'll do my best to give you some perspective.